All right, welcome back to the Powers on Sports podcast. Again, we are almost to the American and National League Championship Series. Actually, the National League Championship Series is starting Tuesday night. We are recording this on Tuesday. We are not quite there in the American League yet. We have one more divisional series to wrap up. The Yankees and Cleveland got rained out Monday, so we're going to finish on Tuesday, and we are going to break it all down with Chris Perez is back with us, our two-time All-Star, St. Louis Cardinal, Cleveland Indian, LA Dodger, extensive major league career. So welcome back, Chris.
Thanks for having me. The playoffs just keep surprising me. All my picks are pretty bad, but I can still give some analysis.
Shoot, I mean, all of our picks are bad. I mean, look in the National League, it's the number 5 and 6 seed make it to the NLCS, Philly and San Diego. So we're gonna break it down, get into that here in just a little bit. Let's get to the American League first, the division series. Yankees, Cleveland, game 5, Tuesday night in New York. Little bit different now with the rain out. Now Cleveland can go back to their ace. Bieber can now start in game 5. The Yankees were going to start Tyone. Looks like they're going to probably start Cortez potentially tonight. So we're going to see how that goes. Just how does that talk to me about the extra day, how that you think is going to affect the game 5?
Yeah, I actually just checked before I came on, and the Cleveland still has Savali listed as the starter. But I know Bieber had asked Francona to actually start yesterday, and Francona told him no, you're not going to start until the ALCS. But I think this throws definitely gives the extra day rest, definitely gives them some pause, and he may not start, but he may come in and give 3 or 4 innings out of the bullpen. I know all of their big guys are rested, Clase and the other 2 guys. I think the extra day off actually helps the Indians more than the Guardians more than it does the Yankees. Being on the road too kind of gives them that us against the world mentality. If you jump on them early, then the Yankees kind of start feeling that pressure of the home crowd, and as we all know in New York, they let you know how they feel. So I think the extra day off gives the Indians gives them a leg up. But at the same time, now the Yankees have Clay Holmes available because he was, they don't want to use him back-to-back days, and so yesterday was his day off.
Yeah.
And they, even Garrett Cole, he can come back in. Today's his normal side day, so he could be good for 2 or 3 innings maybe. It's going to be fun. It's an elimination game. They had to build up yesterday to have it all, go through your whole routine and then kind of have it washed out.
Talk about that, the adrenaline, emotional, getting ready for that game 5, and then it gets rain. You think that because they were talking about they were going to play in the rain and all that potentially, and then you don't play, and then you have to turn around and play a day game the next day.
Yeah, it's it's not just another game. I think they said Cleveland had the most rain delays out of anybody this year, so they're kind of used to that. Sit around and wait, and then have to fire and crank it up fast, but. Playoffs are different, especially elimination game. I'm sure they felt drained yesterday, even though they didn't play a game, just mentally and having that focus for so long and being on edge. And then when the word comes down that it's going to be, postponed till tomorrow, it's just like, you kind of want to get it over with now. But, they're professionals. The baseball is a lot of adjustments to schedules and especially in the amateur side, in the summer tournament schedules and stuff, you're used to it. And I think they made the right call. You don't want that elimination game to be in a sloppy, rainy, we have to pull the tarp now in the 3rd inning, rain delays. I think both teams would agree that pushing it off an extra day was the smart decision.
I think you're going to see potentially Garrett Cole closing tonight.
Yeah.
I think you could see him be the close. I mean, because I know Holmes, they've been iffy about his shoulder and all that. Don't be surprised if you see Garrett Cole closing tonight for the Yankees.
And I actually think that might be an advantage to Cleveland, or Garrett Cole. I think he has some kind of streak of 30 games or 15, 16 games in a row that he's given up a home run or something.
Right.
And he's not used to coming out of the bullpen. He might be a little amped up, especially if it's the 9th. I hear what you're saying. I would personally use him as a bridge to get to Holmes.
Okay.
Just because Holmes is, that's pretty much his role. And he looked so good 2 nights ago. So, I would use Garrett Cole to maybe get the starter or somebody out of the 5th, 6th inning, give him that little bridge there in the middle of the game. And if he doesn't have it, then you can make a move instead of putting all that pressure in the 9th inning. I mean, man, talk about, starting pitching, there's pressure, yes, but there's nothing like coming in out of the bullpen with a 1-run lead or 2-run lead in the elimination game in the playoffs to close out that game. Starters are a little more used to having that time to work into the game and get their emotions under control. So it'd be interesting. And it's we're going to have a lot of second, Monday morning quarterbacking come tomorrow to see how it all plays out.
Because remember, too, as a reliever, new rule this year, you have to face 3 batters. You can't just come in for one guy. So if Cole comes in the game and doesn't have it for whatever reason, he's got to stay in there for 3 batters.
That's why I'm thinking it won't be the 9th, just because you never know, though. If it's a 4-run lead, maybe he's out. But as a manager, I would think you would want to keep the guys' roles as normal as possible. And Clay Holmes has been pretty unhittable in the 9th inning. So, but you never know. I mean, maybe it's bases loaded, 7th inning, and he goes to Holmes early, and then they just try to piece it together. That's why playoff baseball is so fun, because during the 162, every game isn't as important. So, if Clay Holmes is down and they, have a 1-run lead in the 9th and they put a rookie out there and he blows it, well, it stinks, yeah, but it's just one game out of 162. Whereas, elimination playoff baseball, I mean, you make that one mistake and that's your season. So it's definitely be fun to watch. I was kind of disappointed it didn't happen last night, but now that there's no football tonight, it's got the main course and it's going to be great.
Here's the other thing too. Remember, I think Class A hasn't pitched in a few days. You might see him for 3 innings tonight for Class A. Right. If Cleveland has the lead in the 6th inning, you'll see Karinchak, and then I think you'll see Class A in the 7th inning.
I agree, and that's the pressure that mounts on the Yankees. If the Guardians can come out early and get a 2 or 3 run lead, the Yankees know who they have waiting in the back of that bullpen. It just shortens the game, and that's a huge weapon. I think he's had 3 or 4 days off.
Yeah.
So he's going to be fresh. He's going to be pumped up, and yeah, if he can keep his pitch count down, I mean, why not? 2-3 innings, they got to win tonight, right? There's no tomorrow, so and tomorrow's an off day for them, so. It's going to be interesting for sure. Houston just sitting back there waiting, saying, "Yeah, you guys, you guys blow everybody out tonight. That's fine with us."
One more Cleveland note, then we'll get to Houston. Spring training 2023, first game Cleveland's playing in. If it's Cleveland and New York at some point in spring training, is Josh Naylor getting one right in the middle of the back for his antics, running around on the home run trot?
Man, I still haven't even seen an explanation for it. Like,
what is that guy doing?
I mean, I understand it's a big situation and you're all fired up and everything, but like with all the hand gestures and the the baby symbols, like carrying a baby around the bases, there's got to be a backstory to that. I mean, I haven't watched him much. I heard that I think the commentators say he plays with a lot of emotion and stuff. I mean,
they're still losing, even with the home run. They're still losing.
I know. And Garrett Cole, I mean, you can kind of. After those antics, Garrett Cole kind of locked in and didn't give up anything else the rest of the game. So maybe that turned a switch on. I don't know. The game is different today. There's a lot of bat flips and people watching their balls fly, and then sometimes they don't even get out of the ballpark and they get a single instead of a homer or a double. But yeah, I mean, I guarantee you Garrett Cole didn't find that too fun to watch. And like you said, they were still losing. They were still losing the game. It wasn't a game-winning home run or, a game-tying home run. It was just it just brought them within one. So there has to be a backstory. That's what I'm going with. There has to be some kind of something that happened earlier this year or I don't know. It was just and it wasn't even like the 8th or 9th inning. It was like the 6th inning, 5th inning. I don't know. It was wild.
there will be some retribution next year for that one at some point.
They haven't forgot. Yeah. Luckily, they don't play in the same division, so they don't see each other that much. But yeah, they're next July. If you see Naylor take one in the ribs and like in the one game, you'll have to think back to that circle around the bases.
That's right. All right, let's get to Houston. Houston survives the 18-inning marathon in Seattle. I mean, that was a hard game to watch, just like kind of the Rays in the Rays in Cleveland 15 inning, just no score, nobody could do anything. It wasn't even exciting. It wasn't like there was a lot of base runners and all that stuff throughout the game. But Houston survived. Give them credit. Luis Garcia came in and pitched 4 or 5 innings late in that game, and they finally get the home run out of the young kid, the Pena kid, to get them through. Talk to me about Houston. What do you think about Houston?
They look like the cream of the crop right now. The Verlander had his rough start, and they erased it and came back and won. Right, I think out of all the big teams, maybe the Phillies, out of all the big teams, Houston's stars are playing the best. Yordan Alvarez is, he's mashing the ball like he always does. I think they're the most complete team, and I know I picked against them, just hoping for an upset maybe, but Seattle was my team, and they played them tough. They actually, like I said, they took it to Verlander, and then they blew that game. They were up in the game two until the sixth inning, and Jordan hit that home run. And then the last game, I mean, to keep that offense scoreless for 17, 18 innings on the road, you got to tip your hat to Seattle. They'll be back next year. Houston, they've been here before. It seems like every year they're in the ALCS or the World Series.
Six straight ALCSs.
That's I know they got caught for cheating in that one season, but I mean, they just plug and play different players. They lose a George Springer and a Carlos Correa and some pitchers, and it doesn't really matter. They add a young guy in Pena, and they have Tucker that steps up, and they're just a well-run team. And when they make those decisions to not sign back a Correa, it's because they have guys like Pena that they you might be lacking the experience, but talent always plays out. And he's had a great season, and he's getting to show that on the playoff stage. Their pitching's solid. They have a good bullpen. They're going to be tough to beat, especially with this Yankee Guardian series going all five and not having they might not have their pitching set up the way they want. The only difference is this next series is 7 games. So the best team usually does come out on a 7-game series, just because of the length. But Houston, I mean, Altuve hasn't even gotten going really, and they're still, I mean, Bregman's solid. He hasn't really done anything huge yet. Gurriel hasn't done anything huge, and they're still, they swept the Mariners and they're sent back rested.
What do you think the best matchup for? I would think the best matchup for Houston would be Cleveland because of the lack of hitting and all that stuff. But fans, I think the fans want to see Yankees Astros with Judge and all those guys in the media and all that stuff. That to me, that's the best matchup. But and you made a great point about the pitching, because if Cole pitches tonight, he probably won't pitch till game 3 at the earliest. Same with Bieber.
So now, and then if you use Nestor Cortez tonight too, so now maybe you're down to, you're looking at who's
Tyone. You got
or
Tyone,
maybe Severino,
right?
One, then game 2 might be Taillon. So the pitching definitely. I mean, whoever gets to the ALCS, either the Guardian, they're not going to complain. But the Astros are sitting pretty. They're Verlander's ready to go game 1, fully rested. Right. And they have their guys in line. Even Garcia that came in relief, he's going to be able to throw his normal day. So and they're going to be at home first. So they got a huge advantage. But that's why they played the regular season and have all those wins. And the Yankees didn't take care of business like Houston did. So that's what happens.
So talking about rest, we talked about would there be an effect of having all the days off and all that? Dodgers lose. Braves lose. Obviously, Houston won, but now the Yankees are on the brink. Any correlation, do you think, with the days off to the teams getting eliminated? Or because really, Dodgers won game 1, Yankees won. It's not like they lost the first couple games of the series. They won game 1 of their series, but still lost.
I think it's more to do with just the Phillies. They won the first 2 games. In the first round, they're off and running, right? Guys that gotten their playoff knocks already, they're already in the midst of it. Whereas the teams that have the byes are sitting back, and then their first game, they're trying to. It's hard to turn that switch on, and the Phillies and the
Padres,
they turned that switch on. And, the Padres against the Mets had a great series. Their offense was hot, hitting balls left and right. They have the momentum coming into the next round, and then starting on the road. I think that's big. Sometimes when you play at home, you want to do a little too much to impress the fans. You want to hit that big, 2-out double to get a run in. Whereas when you're on the road, you tend to be more locked in because the fans are on you.
Right.
And I think that's kind of an underrated, for a 7-game series. Yes, you want the home field advantage. You're used to the optics. You're used to the bullpen. You're used to the mound. You're used to all that, the routine. But at the beginning of a series, I think the advantage definitely lies on the road team. But yeah, you want to have that Game 7 home field advantage just for being familiar with the place. But I definitely think that the days off affected those teams. And Houston, obviously, they were able to come through it. I think that just speaks to their experience. Like you said, 6 straight ALCSs. That's
Crazy. That's crazy.
That's just mentality. That's a mindset. That's an expectation. When they're in spring training, they're not trying to get to the playoffs. They're trying to get to the World Series. And the funny thing is, all the teams that got eliminated, they all had holes. The Dodgers won 111 games, but at the end of the year, they were missing Walker Buehler. They're missing a couple of their studs on the mound. The Braves, they won 100 and something games, but they had some holes during the season. Their starting pitching wasn't as sharp. Charlie Morton kind of let them down. So all these great teams, they all had holes, and it's just crazy how it comes out in the playoffs.
All right, let's get to the National League. Philly and San Diego are getting ready to start Game 1 NLCS. First thing I want to talk about, what electric crowds in Philadelphia and San Diego in the division series. Those crowds were unbelievable. You had the huge 5-run 7th inning for the Padres against the Dodgers in Game 4. Just a full, I won't say it wasn't a meltdown, but it was just what an inning it was for the Padres there in Game 4.
And that's one of the, another one of the black eyes for the Dodgers was the bullpen at the end of the year. Kimbrel at the back end of the bullpen. And then rears his ugly head in the playoffs. Like, you can't hide in the playoffs. Your deficiencies are going to come out. I still think the Phillies defense is going to show up at some point, in a big situation, misplay a fly ball or not play turn a double play or something. But yeah, I mean, those fan bases, especially San Diego, it's been a while since they've been in the playoffs, and both teams facing division rivals too. I think that helped. You face them 19 times. You know all about them. It's all about execution now. You're not scared. You're not like, oh my God, it's the 100-win Dodgers. Like, no, we play those guys 19 times. So it was great to watch. It's great for baseball. To see some of these young stars, Soto in the playoffs again, and Machado again, and some of the younger guys, like you said, Pena for the Astros, Bryce Harper. I think he's tied for the lead with 3 home runs in the playoffs. The Phillies, they have a great offense, and then when you get Zach Wheeler and Nola throwing like an ace, they're going to be tough to beat too. Because in a long series, those guys you're going to face them 2 times, so that's 4 starts from those 2 guys that are pretty much in the zone right now. You can't throw better than they did. But again, that's because of the familiarity. They knew the Mets, or the Braves. They knew how the hitters, and now it comes down to execution. Facing the Padres, I don't know. I think they played 6 or 7 times this year.
Phillies won 4-3. They played 7 times.
And it was all without Soto. It was all without Soto.
Right.
So that's what I mean. Like, this will be a lot funner of a matchup, just to see the cat and mouse games. Like Nola and Wheeler, they knew what they had to do against the Braves, and all they had to do was execute it, and they did, and they won. Against the Padres, it's a little more of the unknown. They don't have Tatis Jr. in there. They got Soto, and the Padres are swinging it. I mean, up and down that lineup.
Grisham, Cronenworth.
Yeah, Kim, the shortstop, swinging it. He's getting on base. So it's Will Myers really hasn't taken off yet, but that's what makes them dangerous. I think them and the Astros have the deepest lineups for sure.
I'm gonna go back to the Dodgers Padres for 1 second. Analytics question. Back to this, taking a guy out too early. Tyler Anderson's pitching a great game in Game 4 for the Dodgers, and here comes Dave Roberts. It's the 3rd time through the order. We got to get you out of there. Padres commented after the game, "We were so glad to get him the hell out of the game. He was eating us up." At what point are these guys going to realize? Let your eyes manage a little bit. The guy's pitching a great game. Your bullpen is not very good to begin with.
And it's more than that too. He's a veteran pitcher. It's not a 2-second-year guy or a guy that has a career innings number or something.
Right.
And he's a free agent, so use him up, right? Like, he's not going to be with us anymore. Use him up. But I mean, I think part of it is the mentality. Like, the guys down there in the bullpen, they're like, this is my spot. This is when I come in. If you don't use them, are they going to be able to get over that next time? But you have to get to the next time. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. These managers, they're always like worried about tomorrow or down the road. It's like, no, let's win now. Like, you never know. Ask the 02, 03 Cubs that were loaded. Like, you never know when you're going to get that chance again. So I think it was 4, 5, 6 years ago. Maybe the Nationals held back Strasburg.
Yes.
They had a really good team, and they're like,
Yes.
he's on an innings limit. They ended up winning a couple years later, but you never know when these chances are going to come back again. Let Tyler Anderson lose the game. He's
Or get in trouble at least get into some trouble.
It's almost like these games are just mapped out on the computer, and they're like, all right, yep, Tyler Anderson 2 times through the lineup, that's good enough. Doesn't matter if you have a no-hitter going, a shutout, it doesn't matter. We're going to go to our guys. It's kind of like a scripted, NFL play calling. I don't know. I don't know when it goes. I don't know when it goes away. Honestly, I don't know.
It's stupid in these again, like we talked about before. Analytics over 160 games is different than a 1-game scenario.
Exactly, and that's why Dave Roberts played. Like, use your eyes. Like, if you were on the other side, would you want to? You're begging for him to get out of the game, like the Padres are saying. Like, he's got good stuff. He's eating us up. Like, yeah, anybody else, the guy throwing 110 will be better. Like, I know it's just it happens. It happens all the time. It's probably going to happen again before the World Series. But I think, although this year, compared to the last couple of years, starters are dominating more. It's almost like old school, October baseball. It's not 1 or 2 innings and then the bullpen. It's 5, 6, 7 innings of good starting pitching. And if you look at everybody that's left, the Yankees,
you saw Boone leaving. Cole had 115 pitches. He's their horse. That's why you pay him $300 million to pitch 7 innings and 120 pitches.
Exactly. And the Yankees have the same kind of bullpen issues that the Dodgers have. And and you saw how fired up Cole was when he got that I think he struck out the last 2 guys in the 7th. Yeah. Like that gives him confidence going forward. Like, I know it's Garrett Cole and he's an ace and he's making 3. Every player needs a pat on the back sometimes, or a shot of confidence from the manager. And it worked out. They won, right? They won the game, and the Dodgers didn't. So.
Talk about the dynamic, an interesting dynamic. 2 brothers playing against each other. Nola, the pitcher, against Nola, the catcher.
Yeah.
Talk about how especially the catcher might know some of the pitchers. They all know each other, obviously, but with the scouting and everything. But the brother might know that one moment, that big moment of what pitch the guy that the brother might go to in crunch time. Talk about that dynamic.
It's he might. I don't think they've played together in forever, but it's got to be cool for the family, that's for sure. And for them too, the compete. I think they said the last time that happened was like 96 or 97 with the Alomar brothers.
Right.
It's kind of that frenemy, feeling. Like, you wish them well, but not too well, because you want to win. Especially for both of them, they haven't been in the World Series ever, so one of them's going to make it, and I'm sure the other one's going to be upset that it's not them, but then 1 or 2 days later, they're going to be happy for their brother that to get a chance to win a championship. I'm sure that it's going to be super nerve-wracking for the parents, especially when they face each other. Starting pitcher, starting catcher, they're going to face each other. So, and then bragging rights. You always want to beat your brother, your siblings. I think Austin Nola is older. So, Aaron's definitely not going to give up any hits or anything, any big situations to his brother. So that might actually affect the pitching. If Austin comes up with guys on second and third with 2 outs, does Aaron challenge him, or does he, kind of pitch around him so he doesn't want to give up a big hit to his brother? Right. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to watch. It's gonna be fun. It's a nice sub storyline, and like I said, I'm sure the parents are excited, and one of them's gonna be in the World Series. So that's that as a family, you look at like the Molina brothers. They all supported each other and pulled for each other. I don't think they ever faced each other, but right. You're happy when your family does well. So I'm sure it's gonna turn out good.
Let's go to the bullpen real quick, and we'll get a prediction. Josh Hader looks like he's back, man. Throwing the ball great. You got Suarez in the 8th inning for the Padres. I think that's going to be, to me, that could be a big advantage for San Diego if they can get to Suarez, because both him and Hader have been electric, and Hader made the Dodgers look bad.
He did, and they stopped using him so frequently. And I just think the combination of the last 3 or 4 years, all the innings and 1 or 2, 4 or 5 out saves that he did with the Brewers, it just catches up to you sometimes. And they kind of addressed that. And now he's only throwing 1 inning, and he looks like the old hater. They can do that because they have that setup guy that comes in, and he's just as nasty pretty much. I think the Padres pitching staff, when Yu Darvish is out there and Blake Snell throws well in the playoffs at home, and obviously Musgrove shut down the Mets and had a good start the other day to keep them in there. They're pretty solid. They're a good team. They're a good team, and I know they didn't win. Like, I think it's the first time they have two teams under 90 wins facing off in the NLCS. But the goal is not to win the regular season. The goal is to get hot and win the postseason. So the Phillies, they're hot coming in with a lot of confidence, and their bullpen is not as strong. I think they're getting Robertson back.
Right.
If I read that right, that helps them out. They got enough.
Alvarado's pitching really well. Dominguez is pitching pretty good.
Yeah, Sir Anthony's, he comes in pretty good. And the way they're starting pitching, Eflin's kind of been like that bridge guy. Yeah. The way they're starting pitching has been going deep in the games. When you only have to cover 6 or 7 outs out of the bullpen, it makes it a lot easier. When you have to cover 4 or 5 innings, that's when you're piecing together, matching up, maybe extending the guy longer than you want to. So the key to that series, I think, is going to be whoever gets the other team starters out. And that goes with offense, good at bats. The Padres, they work some long at bats. Soto does. I know that. Machado, Profar's has even been working at bats. So it's, then again, the Phillies pitchers, they come at you. Nola and Wheeler, they don't really nibble. They're coming at you aggressively. So it's going to be fun. It always comes down to 1 or 2 plays here, or 1 or 2, hits from somebody you're not expecting. And, in a 7-game series, I think this goes 6 or 7, honestly. I don't see anybody sweeping.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it goes maybe the full distance.
And I think you made a great point about the defense. The Phillies have not been very good defensively. This could be the series where Schwarber and some of those guys get exposed. Segura's he ain't the best defensive guy out there. So they're familiar with Truist Park. I don't know the last time Schwarber played left field in San Diego, but it's not the easiest out there. It's a lot bigger of an outfield. So I think somewhere down the line, their defense or lack of comes into play. I know Castellanos isn't the best in the outfield either. Right.
Right now they're swinging the bats well and hiding that, but 1 or 2, not turning a double play, keep the inning going. And then bam, especially with the Padres, they got power up and down their lineup. So extra outs is not good. I think that might be the X factor is the defense.
All right, give me a pick. Who do you like tonight? Cleveland, New York in the division series.
Man, I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Wow.
I like to. I kind of.
Your hometown team, your boys.
Yeah, I kind of root for anarchy, and if it's like 6-1 in the 6th inning, I just want to hear those Yankee fans give it to them a little bit.
Right.
It's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. The Yankees, especially at home with that short porch and Rizzo and Stanton and Judge being able to go oppo, it's not gonna be easy. If the Indians hold them under 4 runs, I think they win.
Good call. All right. Then who? If you got the Indians in Houston in the ALCS, who you like?
I'm gonna go with Houston. That's the easy pick. If the Indians, if I don't know, I mean, if they don't use Bieber tonight, then that might flip me a little bit because that means he can pitch twice in the series.
Right.
But Houston's playing so well. They beat a good Mariners team. They're sent back. They've played 3 games in like 15, 16 days.
Right.
So they're healthy. They're feeling good. They're going to be at home. They're going to have Verlander, who's looking to, get back on track. He's going to be focused. I just think they have that mojo. Pena got that big home run in the 18th inning game, and then obviously Yordan Alvarez is hot.
You got Bregman. You just got the experience. Gurriel, Bregman, all these guys that have been there forever.
And I think if Cleveland makes it to the ALCS, I think it's kind of okay. We made it to the ALCS. We've had a great year.
Yeah.
Like anything else is gravy. Whereas the Astros are like, we expect this is our 6th time in a row. We want to go back to the World Series. Our work's not done, kind of a feel. And I'm gonna go with the Astros, probably in 5 games.
I think that's a good call. What about Philadelphia, San Diego?
I'm gonna go with San Diego. I think
Me
their
too.
offense is. I think their lineup from top to bottom is doing a little better than the Phillies. I think the Phillies took advantage of the familiarity with the Braves. And I'm going to go with San Diego in 7 games at home. I think the home field advantage will come into it later in the series, not early. Philly may even win this first game tonight and steal it. But I just think over the course of 7 games, with Hader in the bullpen, they got too many star power in San Diego.
And you got to give them credit. They've gone all in. They're a small market team, but they have gone all in as far as paying guys, big ticket guys. I mean, trade for Hader. They traded for all the guys they've traded for.
Yeah.
And you can't go against the goose, man. You got the goose out in San Diego.
Yeah, and their uniforms too. I mean, I like their uniforms too. They blended the old style with the brown and everything into the new style, and that place is gonna be rocking too. That's a totally different. I mean, Philly is too, but San Diego, that fan base is fired up to beat the Dodgers, and now they're gonna try that roll out into the World Series.
Any managerial advantage, Melvin and Thompson?
I mean, obviously Melvin's got the experience. Thompson seems to have the players' connections a little more, but Melvin's a great manager. He's with the A's forever. Always got the most out of his club. Yeah. He's real even keeled. He doesn't show much emotion. He lets the guys do what they, whatever they want to do on the bases or in the locker room. He's a player's manager. I don't know too much about Thompson, but the team seems to play well for him, and they seem to have his back. So I think, this day and age, the biggest impact the manager has is the pitching decisions. A couple of lineup tweaks here and there, but they pretty much know their lineups already. It's gonna be the pitching decisions. Do I let this starter go out for another inning or not? I think it's a little easier with the Phillies because your top 2 guys are your horses. Yeah. You're gonna let them go 7 innings, 100 pitches every time. The Padres, it's a little more iffy because Darvish, sometimes he's got a big pitch count and it's only the 5th inning.
Right.
Blake Snell, same way, kind of sometimes. That's a little more touchy-feely situation, but they have good guys in the pen. So I think managerial, it's a tie.
There you go. All right, great job, Chris. Man, we'll have you back next week for. We'll probably be deep into the championship series. They may not be over yet, so we may have to give you a game 6 or game 7 breakdown next week. If not, and then hopefully maybe we'll give you a World Series preview depending on where they are in the series. So great job, man. Appreciate the time and have a great week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope they're still going next week. I don't want them to wrap up early. I want more baseball.
and you get off the hook this week. No questions from the Twitter.
No question. I think they didn't know about what they were recording. So, yeah, I got off the hook.
Have a good week, man.
All right. You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye.